just hear this podcast and say, oh, what a woman she is, what kind of things is she saying, that let your child fall and don't even be bothered. That's me. So recently, this was on a recent trip. One of the boys, they were all speaking in Marathi and something, and he picked up a bad word, like a,
Mm.
yeah, okay, to put it simple, a gali.
Mhm.
Obviously, he doesn't know. So in his Marathi accent, he just came home and he just randomly said that. Now I will tell you, okay, there's a difference. I tried
Mhm.
like hell. I just stood outside the school gate for the entire time.
Mhm.
बट यस बट अगेन आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू मैं उसको इसकी गिनती नहीं मैं कराती हूँ कभी कि ओ
Mhm.
तुम तुम मुझे इतना बैक आंसर कर रहे हो एंड मैं तो तुम्हारे स्कूल के बाहर खड़ी थी तो वो उठ के बोलेगा मैंने बोला था कि उनको खड़े रहने के लिए तो इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन थिंग यू डू एनीबडी आई हैव सीन डूइंग दिस अच्छा तुमको लग गया मैं इसको मारता हूँ मैं उसको
Yeah.
मारता हूँ व्हाटएवर इट इज वो चेयर है
Yeah.
या सोफा है वो चेयर या
Mhm.
सोफे की तो गलती है नहीं तो तुम
Correct.
बट दिस इज हाउ वी नर्चर आवर चिल्ड्रन
Mhm.
कि अगर मैं गिर गया तो मेरी गलती नहीं है गलती किसी की
Yeah.
भी नहीं है फॉलोइंग इज अ नेचुरल थिंग इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ ग्रोइंग मैंने इतना किया है तुम्हारे लिए मैं इतनी
Mhm.
रात जागी हूँ मैंने इतना सब किया है बट द चाइल्ड विल गेट अप एंड से डिड आई आस्क यू टू डू दैट
Mhm.
why are you telling me why are you counting your things on me
Mhm.
so I think there comes the detachment when
Mhm.
children have their birthdays they get into a different zone altogether I have noticed this just the
Okay.
pre-birthday symptoms they are
Yeah.
quite a challenge.
Hi, welcome to Parents of India. This is your host Piyush. Before we begin, be the part of our growing parent community by clicking on the subscribe button below. In today's episode, our guest is from London. She's a mother of a 10-year-old boy. Let's know about her parenting story, her parenting journey, her ups, downs, happy moments, sad moments, everything. Let's start this podcast by welcoming Darshana. Hi, Darshana.
Hello Piyush.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So, how are you feeling right now, being on the podcast?
I think I'm okay. It's just
Mhm.
no, it's a very casual thing as you mentioned before. So I'm not
Yeah.
much worried or how will I talk? I don't think I have such kind of thing. So I'm okay, absolutely okay.
Mhm.
As long as we get what we want out of this podcast.
Yes, cool. Surely we'll get it. So, you are a mother of a 10-year-old boy. So, how does it feel to be a parent? And I would like to understand from the perspective of your first 5 years of parenting and then the next 5 years of parenting, how it feels.
Uh, Actually, I think it's if you ask this question to anybody would just say it's a challenging role.
Mhm.
Given okay, so a little bit of background because we don't live in India. I don't live in India. Me and my family. So
Mhm.
we live in UK and we are here for good. So there is no as such support system. Except
Okay.
the friends because then back home you have your mom, you have your brother, sister,
Mhm.
they have their uncle, aunts, cousins growing up, like how I have grown up or how I grew up. So
Mhm.
that's a bit of a challenge in our case because, like I said, you don't have a support system of your extended family,
Correct.
which is around here. Yes, but
Mhm.
luckily we have very good friends who
Mhm.
eventually act as your extended family. So,
Mhm.
coming back to your question, there are a lot of lot of challenges. I think with this kind of the environment that we are in.
Mhm.
I would say technology is the how do I put it? It's a boon, definitely, but
Mhm.
also it's not such a great boon in today's time because we all are just hooked on to our mobile phones 24 by 7, except when we sleep. I think even before we sleep, we all just, doing tuck, tuck,
Mhm.
tuck, tuck,
Yeah.
tuck.
Yeah.
And the moment we wake up, which is not a very good thing to do, but when you wake
Mhm.
up, you are like, and I think the children are just seeing that, observing that, so
Mhm.
obviously they are also hooked on to their gadgets.
Mhm.
Um, so I think yes, parenting in today's era with the technology is a big challenge. And thanks to COVID, that
Mhm.
everybody thought that everything is online. So there's
Yeah.
be it meeting friends or
Mhm.
having group calls, video calls. So it
Mhm.
just became a part of life. It was like a
Yeah.
norm. It just became very
Mhm.
normal. So I think the first 5 years I was in India when my son
Yeah.
was younger. and we
Mm-hmm.
moved here just before he could turn, I think, when he was about 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a very good time in terms of, I would talk about my journey and my experience. My son never used, or I never gave him gadgets, when he was until 4 years old. Or we
Mm-hmm.
see a very common sight these days. Even I have noticed this when you go to restaurants. Parents would have mobile phones. There would be some, like a show or whatever the children watch, like Peppa Pig or whatever it is. They would just have
Mm-hmm.
that on, and the
Mm-hmm.
child would be eating or the parents would be eating, and that's a very common sight these days.
Correct.
Even at
Yeah.
home, if you have to feed a child, you will switch on a television set, and
Mm-hmm.
the child, you will just feed the child.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, in my case, I never did that. My son did not use a mobile phone until he was 4 years old, and I think I'm very proud of that fact. I was not
I
anymore
think this
though.
could be. Yeah, but I would like to know, like, what did you do differently in the first 5 years so that you need not to give any digital devices to your kid? What helped you there, or what enabled you there?
I didn't do anything differently. On
Mm-hmm.
the contrary, he also did not watch television until he was 3.5 years old. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a very conscious thing that when I was with him in the house, I would never switch on the television or watch. I would watch the television only when he was asleep, or
Mm-hmm.
probably use it only when he was asleep. What differently did I do? I gave him lot of outdoor plays. So I used to literally, yes, living we lived in Mumbai. So living in Mumbai, we used to go down typically. He used to play lots and lots in the, what do you call, in the mud. He used
Okay.
to play there. And I
Mm-hmm.
had, yes, and I had very, the other parents used to give me kind of a second look. Oh, how can you let your child do
Yeah.
that? Oh, it's not a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is, because that built his immunity. uh,
Correct.
that that really trained his fine motor skills, which is
True.
which is when the child is developing until the age of 4.
Mm-hmm.
I Yeah, so these were the things. I don't think I did anything differently. I exactly brought him the way probably you and me, grew up when we were younger.
Yeah.
uh, so he used to every day play there, play in the mud, play in the soil. He used to do that. He used to get dirty, and yes, there was a task that I had to, shower him
Mm-hmm.
or bathe him, and there was an effort in that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I also got very, very serious looks from other parents saying that you shouldn't be doing that and you shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
letting your child play.
Yeah.
And I would say he was the only child probably who
Okay.
did that when we
Mm-hmm.
used to go down, and there are lots and lots of other kids who used to come.
Mm-hmm.
So differently, not really anything, but I think it was just an effort to be put that, give him maximum outdoor play,
Mm-hmm.
talk to him, read him a lot of books,
Mm-hmm.
which helped in developing his sensory motions, his fine motor skills.
Correct.
I used to have a lot of conversations with him, a lot of story time.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to be working in the kitchen, I used to get him in the kitchen, and I used to, help
Mm-hmm.
him, make him, kind of. I think one thing which I did differently was, I would say, I kind of, took his advice when he was right since child. In advice, I
Right.
don't mean should I do this or should I do no, shouldn't I be doing that, but as a simple thing, what clothes should I wear? Should I wear this color today or that color today? Like a
Mm-hmm.
red color, or you want mommy to
Mm-hmm.
wear this color? Or, these were the very, very basic things. I don't think this is like very rocket science.
Mm-hmm.
But I also let him do I let him made his choices. I would ask him to
Mm-hmm.
choose from the pile of the
Yeah.
clothes. But yes, there was an effort, because if he has to take off one t-shirt, everything would fall down, so
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
was my
Right.
job, like to put it back together. I had to do it, but I think I was okay with it. I was absolutely okay doing these things, but I saw a lot of development in my child.
Mm-hmm.
He became independent too early. I think
Correct.
until the age of 4 and 5, a lot of parents struggle with how do you potty train your child, what
Mm-hmm.
will happen when they go to school. So, he became independent quite early. He
Correct.
started changing his own clothes quite early. He
Mm-hmm.
started tying the shoelaces, which
Mm-hmm.
is which is also a big, I wouldn't say a big problem as such, but kids can't do that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So these were the things I think. I don't think I did anything differently. Like I said, I just brought him the way you and me were probably brought when we
Mhm.
were kids or when we were children.
Yeah.
And yes, taking him to lots of aquarium places, or taking him to places like, I took him for a lot of plays.
Mhm.
So these were the basic things which I did when he was a child, and he would listen to me.
Yeah.
So, to put it rightly. So,
Mhm.
coming back to your question now, after 5 and 10, it's a huge, huge, huge difference. Also,
Mhm.
because we moved, from the country, there is a lot
Mhm.
of difference. Like I said, you don't have support system here. No, I
Mhm.
can't leave my child to somebody and just probably go to the market or go to a shop and come over. Now, in the present situation, things are really challenging. I can't
Mhm.
say that my child doesn't use a gadget. Definitely not.
Okay.
uh, he is like how normally children are these days. He's hooked on to his the gamings, and yes, but we try and control it. We have a specific time,
Mhm.
like this is your screen time, but that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
Unfortunately, to be honest,
Mhm.
no, it doesn't work.
Mhm.
Especially I think this age 10,
Mhm.
which is more, they start having this feeling that I am a teenager, almost a teenager. It's a
Mhm.
preteen, but they feel that, oh, no, no, I can do everything on my own. I don't think I need my parents or my mom and dad for anything
Mhm.
except for giving the money. Uh, but it's quite a challenge now.
Mhm.
It's a struggle, I would say, because it's very hard. I think the problem that I am facing right now is, um, he thinks he can do everything on his own. You know,
Okay.
yeah, he
And
doesn't need. Yeah, he doesn't need any kind of, he doesn't be I have noticed he doesn't like to be told. If you tell him you do this, so
Mhm.
he will just
Yeah.
say, I know I have to do
Mhm.
it. You don't have to
Yeah.
tell me. So
Mhm.
I think that's becoming a bit of a challenge now. Yeah.
Why it is a challenge? Because you raised him as an independent kid since like he was a child, and now he wants to do things by himself, or he says he knows that. If you say, like, okay, show me like what you know, and then you can intervene accordingly.
I wouldn't say, it's not about like the screen time. Yeah, if the dedicated 2 hours, not like at a go 1 hour, and then you probably do your homework and the other things, and a lot of
Mhm.
other things also children do here, like swimming. He plays tennis and various other things. So that's the thing, if you tell him that stop, having me raised him independently doesn't mean that he can just use the iPad the way he wants or go on.
Mhm.
So if you tell him that you have to stop now, or he'll say, I know I have to, but he doesn't. He will not stop there. So
Mhm.
that's I
In
think.
that way,
Sorry.
yeah, in that way, that this is a challenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a big, big challenge. And like I said, 10 is a very, I don't know, it's neither you are small nor
Mhm.
you're, big enough. So it's,
Correct.
yes. And you rightly said, I have brought him in a way which is independent thinking or independently doing things. But
Mhm.
um, it doesn't mean that he can probably take his own independent decisions. That is not what it means.
Mhm.
Independent, making him an independent was in doing his chores and doing his basic things.
Mhm.
You don't need your mom for everything, or you can't.
Mhm.
I am not a mother who will come and serve him, or no. Here's the thing: you come, you take it. Also, you get the plates, or you get the dishes done for somebody else,
Mhm.
and then you come, and then you also need to sort the kitchen out. It's not like you will just okay, my job is done, I have eaten my food, and I just put my
Mhm.
plate in the sink. No, that is
Mhm.
not what it is. You have to keep it clean, you have to do these things. So I think
Mhm.
this, he used to do all of this before, but now it's
Yeah.
like if you tell him, he's like,
Mhm.
I know I have to do, but he will not
Mhm.
do. you know.
Agreed.
So I think that's probably, like everybody says, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. I hope
Correct.
it's just a phase and it will pass on soon.
It
Another thing I
will.
think I've noticed, when children have their birthdays, like he'll be turning 10 next week. When
Mhm.
children have their birthdays, they get into a different zone altogether. I have noticed this. Just the
Okay.
pre-birthday symptoms, they are a
Yeah.
quite a challenge. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So, first, a few things I want to say. So, how you raised him in the first 5 years is the best possible way a parent can raise a kid, and it is absolutely a right way, scientifically speaking. Play, allow them to play,
True.
explore, experiment, give your time. That is the best thing. Now what is happening with him is like he's trying to find his own identity,
Correct.
and he needs the power to take the decisions for himself. So when you are telling him, as a mother, do this, do that, he's like, I need to be in control of myself and I need to take my own decisions.
True.
What, just one recommendation you can try: give him the power to take the decision, like you used to do in his childhood,
Yeah.
like this or that. That is something could help you. But I also want to understand, when you moved from India to UK, uh, did you prepare him in any way that we are moving countries and it could be a big change for him? Did it affect him in any way, the movement or transition?
Honestly, no, I didn't.
Mhm.
Because I think, I personally believe that you don't have to create that perception. I would have those inhibitions, or we as adults have those inhibitions. But when it comes to children, I don't think they have any sorts of inhibitions, and you should just let them be the way they are.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. Yes, of course, I did tell him that we will be traveling and we will be doing a long plane journey, because I came here with him. It was just me and him. So
Mhm.
yeah, when we came here, so of course I did tell him that we will be. And knowing him, he was never a child who would be seated in one place. You see children who will just sit in one place. They probably will not move. He was never that kind of a child. He was always very, very active. So that's the only time
Mhm.
I told him that there'll be a long flight journey, like a 9 hours journey, and we'll
Mhm.
have to, cope up with each other and, help each other, and that's all. But
Mhm.
coming here, oh no, we are going to a different country, absolutely no, because I didn't want my perceptions to be
Mhm.
imposed on him, and he
Mhm.
have or he create that thinking basis my perception. Because, like I said, adults have a lot of inhibitions. Adults have
Correct.
a lot of issues. You can't just go out, mix with people, or yeah, it's a kind of a challenge, you do feel. But when it comes to children, I think they definitely don't have any inhibitions.
Mhm.
Just to give you a small example, people who
Yes.
live here, they have a very different accent. And
Mhm.
yes, that's one more thing. When I was raising him, I never spoke English with him, never ever,
Mhm.
because I was very,
Mhm.
very clear. Fundamentally, your child needs to know your mother tongues. English is just a language. It will happen
Correct.
over a period of time. It's no
Yeah.
big deal. I never spoke with him in English, never ever.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I didn't even enroll him in a school to begin with in India. I didn't put him in
Mhm.
a nursery. No, he straight away went to the what do they call as a senior KG or something. Right. So, like I was saying, I never spoke English with him. So
Mhm.
coming to this country, I never felt that's a challenge. Oh, how my child will learn English.
Mhm.
Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind, because, like I said, children are
Mhm.
very, very quick learner.
Correct.
Their adaptability is tremendous. I mean, we can't even imagine as adults.
Yeah.
They don't have language barriers. They don't have inhibitions. They don't have absolutely nothing. They are just open,
Mhm.
absolutely open. So
Correct.
that was never a challenge for me. Oh, I'm moving to a different country, I should prepare him. On the contrary, I didn't even tell him anything. Absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
Like I said, I
Okay.
didn't even speak with him in English. So he
Mhm.
came here and he did it on his own.
Mhm.
It's no big deal if he didn't know English.
Mhm.
That is one thing that I've noticed back in India. Uh, People, even anybody. Like, I used to see when I used to take him downstairs with other kids playing. Even anybody, they will always speak in English. They
Hmm.
be it from Gujarati household, a Marathi household, or any, the emphasis is so much on English, and which really
Hmm.
bothered me, because
Hmm.
like I said, I feel your child needs to know your mother tongue. That is
Correct.
more important than anything else. And
Definitely.
children can learn as many languages if there's a like a crossbreed. What I mean is, if a father is Marathi and a mother is Gujarati, or a Telugu and a Tamil, children on the contrary should learn all those two languages.
True.
But this is one thing that I've noticed. Everybody would speak in English as if it's like
Hmm.
a very, very big thing. Like I said, English is just a language. It will happen.
True.
So
So
if
when
that,
you
sorry.
so when you moved to London, uh, did you like start speaking in English with him then, or you are still with him with the mother tongue?
So in our house, we both
Hmm.
are, me and my husband, since we both are Maharashtrian, we speak Marathi even with each
Oh
other.
wow.
We
Hmm.
don't speak in English. We don't converse in English. So
Hmm.
yes, of course, sometimes we do.
Hmm.
But he just picked up, and of course, I speak to him in English. But we also speak with his grandparents. He speaks in Marathi. Of course, he speaks with an accent, but he speaks in
Hmm.
Marathi. So that's, I don't think that's an issue with our, because like I said, we both speak Marathi in the house, no matter what.
Hmm.
Even when we
Yeah.
go out to restaurants, or
Hmm.
we go to posh dining places, we still speak in Marathi.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
I don't know if I can just go ahead. I'm not saying that everybody should do this, but I still, whenever I go outside, also I eat with my hands. I don't care,
Hmm.
who is
Yeah.
going to think what, and what is
Hmm.
going to happen, and oh my god, you're eating with your hands. So I eat
Hmm.
with my hands even if I go to posh of the places. I don't
Hmm.
really care. But I think that's me. I doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me. So
It
I
is
think,
completely
because
great.
children
Okay.
pick up these things, right?
Yes.
Where
Yes.
do
Yes.
children learn from? Children will
Correct.
learn what they observe, and who are they going to
Yes.
observe? The immediate ones are the parents, and of course
True.
your extended family.
Uh, True. And till the time it is not bothering you that they are picking your habits and you're okay with it, I think children will always be okay with it and never feel embarrassed around it. So yeah. And how did he adapt, or how did he learn the English language in his normal life? Did he start going to preschool in UK when it started, or something else helped him to get that exposure of a language here in UK?
Honestly, no. Now when you are asking me, I'm actually thinking because it was never a struggle. I think it just happened. At
Hmm.
school, whatever he was talking, the friends he made, and I think a lot of it also because in his early years, I
Hmm.
kind of, there was a lot of openness in his upbringing, which I
Hmm.
think helped. Because now when you're asking me this, I'm really thinking, going back 5 years back, how did he cope up?
Yeah.
Because I never spoke English, we never spoke English at home. But I think I'll tell you what, I used to read a lot to him. I used to read a
Hmm.
lot of books to him. So even
In
after
English.
here, we used to have like a dedicated reading time. And I
Hmm.
remember that maybe that's what has helped. Not maybe, I think that is what has helped actually.
Hmm.
But there was no struggle, there was no struggle, absolutely no struggle. I
Hmm.
mean, it would be hard to believe, I don't know. But I'm actually thinking, how did he cope up? Because actually there was nothing to
Yeah.
cope. It just
Got it.
it just happened.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a one big takeaway. Like reading might have helped him a lot, and reading is should be must, and that's like
absolutely.
a big takeaway right now
No,
for
no,
me.
absolutely. I think even here, there's a lot of emphasis on reading. There are
Mm-hmm.
still libraries, and people go to libraries, and people sit in the libraries, and people read books in the libraries, which is like
Mm-hmm.
coming from Mumbai. I felt, oh my God, libraries still
Mm-hmm.
exist. Because there are libraries in Mumbai also, but there are very few now. You don't really have that. Like growing up, I remember I used to subscribe to Reader's Digest, RD, and we used to
Mm-hmm.
get. I remember there used to be a comic called as Betty, and these kind of comics, and we used to go to the library, get those comics. We used to wait literally. So
Mm-hmm.
the culture of reading is very much here. And even the
Mhm.
school emphasizes on not just reading your curriculum, but the
Mhm.
kind of storybooks you read. you know so
Mhm.
his reading has definitely, now the kind of books, he's finished the entire Harry Potter series.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the age of 10, he's finished already that. There's as they grow, they have their a different set of authors. So
Mhm.
David Volumes, there is Diary of Wimpy Kid. So there's like a full section or full, they have the entire books. So he's already
Mhm.
finished that. He's finished Harry Potter. He started reading literature now. So I think it's very helpful. Reading is the must.
Cool, thanks. And what helps you connect with your kid right now when he's like in 10, almost 10 years old? I understand, like in the first 5 years, you were playing, you were reading, you were talking, everything that helps in the building connection with your kid. Now you said that things have changed. He's always hooked up to the digital devices or wants to do his own things. So now what you do to connect with him?
So I think what I have noticed is, there are some technical things. If I tell him probably, this device is not working, so I ask him to help, and he's good at it.
Mhm.
Is what I have
Okay.
noticed. So he would,
Mhm.
fix those things. Like if he was here right now, he's at school right now because it's just
Mhm.
1 p.m. here. So
Mhm.
if this thing, our podcast wasn't running, and if I would have helped him, if I would have asked him, he would have just helped me sort it out. So
Mhm.
this is the help that, if some batteries are to be changed, or if things are not getting operated, or,
Mhm.
there's some problem, then he'll get a toolbox and he'll use the screwdrivers. He will do some
Mhm.
kind of things. Not every
Yeah.
time everything works,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, most of the time. And this is what I feel, that he likes doing these things, and he
Mhm.
and he likes it when I go to him with a problem and ask him for a solution.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So here, like, it seems that he's a problem solver.
No, he's
What?
also a problem creator, not just a problem solver.
Yeah, but in your response, I still really figure out like what do you think has helped me to give him that kind of a confidence that yes, he can help you in any technological challenges or electrical challenges, small might be, that can help you in resolving them. He's up to the challenge. So what do you think has created that mindset in him?
Like I said, in my upbringing to him, I had always seeked his advice. Even if it was when he
Hmm.
was a baby or when he was small, not like a baby, but probably when he understood, when he was small, what color should I wear? Or I used to take him to the market, what vegetables should we buy? Do you think we should
Hmm.
buy this, or do you think we should buy this? I
Yeah.
used to seek his opinion. I have consciously, I have never said this, and which is a very common thing. ओ तू तो बच्चा है तेरे को नहीं समझता है I have never
Hmm.
done it. I have never done it
Hmm.
consciously. Oh, you're just a
Hmm.
kid. You will never understand. Oh, तू
Hmm.
फक्त लहान आहेस तुला काय कळणार आहे. you know I have never said these words to him. On the contrary, I have always sought his advice. Be it small things, or what vegetables should I buy, what color should I buy, or what color dress should I buy, or
Hmm.
these were the small things, and I feel somewhere this has helped him and evolved him. That yes, and like I said, consciously I've never said this. This is a very common thing.
Hmm.
We are, "तू तो बच्चा है तेरे
Yeah.
को नहीं समझेगा." You're too small.
Hmm. Correct.
So I think yes, when growing up, I never consciously never made said that thing to him. Not even now. I say to him, "Oh, you're just a
Hmm.
kid." Now, of course, we have our fights and we have our arguments, and I say things to him. He says things to me. But I've never
Hmm.
said, "Oh, you will never understand." Or there's a
Hmm.
very common thing which every parent says, "Oh, till the day when you become a parent, you will understand." So I
Hmm.
never say these things to him. Oh, you will never understand what a mother's love is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you like treated him as an equal human being,
Yes.
and then raised him.
I'm
So
trying to.
Yes, you are trying to, but you are doing tremendously well. I'm just like feeling so nice right now. You are like an ideal parent for me right now. What you are
Oh,
doing?
I'm not an ideal. You should see how I fight with him. I'm definitely not an ideal parent. I fight
Okay.
with him. We have our arguments, and even I
Mhm.
throw my tantrums at him. So I'm not an ideal parent. Definitely not.
Okay. And when you said that now he's hooked up to digital devices more, now does it affect his social emotional health in any way? If you have noticed it.
Um, I think yes, social yes, because when we are meeting, like I said, your friends are your extended family. So we have like
Mhm.
a very good, set of friends where we regularly meet up and everybody's together. So there's no conversation or no chatting. That doesn't happen. These kids, they will all come together and they will start using the mobile phones.
Mhm.
You typically walk into any coffee shop today and you just
Yeah.
observe. If there are
Mhm.
four friends sitting, everybody is just on their mobile phone. And it's just
True.
not them, it's us also. It's just not them,
Mhm.
you know. Like
Mhm.
yeah. So when I meet my friends, I consciously put my phone in my bag, you know. I
Mhm.
try to, not like every
Yeah.
time I succeed, but so that only when the phone rings, probably I will take it off just to see. But otherwise, you're constantly checking the messages. And like I said, you just walk into a coffee shop these days and just observe what
Yeah.
the youngsters
Yes.
are.
It's
Forget the youngsters, everybody for that matter. You
true.
travel in a public transport, in a bus, and you
Mhm.
just see everybody is with their heads down. You travel on a
Mhm.
local train, everybody is, with their head
Yeah.
down. And but unfortunately that is and we are not barred in it. Definitely I'm also not. I'm not saying, oh, I don't do this. I do it.
Mhm.
Definitely I do it.
Yeah.
So socially, yes. uh, like I remember when we were growing up, when we used to visit uncles or aunts, elders used to have conversations. Subconsciously we were picking up on those conversations.
True. Mhm.
Subconsciously, we learned how to speak, or how to develop, or how to talk about a particular topic. Be it anything, adults can discuss
Mm.
from bhaji to anything.
Yeah.
Subconsciously we used to pick those things. uh,
Mhm.
yeah, unfortunately these kids miss on it. I don't know how to tackle it and handle it. Still,
Mhm.
whenever we get have a get together, I always say no using phones, just go and play.
Mhm.
Just go and
Mhm.
play, but that
Yeah.
doesn't last for long. Yeah.
So that's why like it's bother you that it's affecting his social life, that you constantly on digital devices, or there are some other reasons also that you are bothered about he being using the digital devices.
I think you don't need digital devices that much. There are
Mhm.
people in the house, you have a conversation with them. Even if you fight with them, you talk to them, you share your experiences, talk to each other, which I
Mhm.
think is not really happening these days.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's a harsh truth that
True.
these things are not really happening. Like I said, even if his friends come over for
Mhm.
their play dates, or if he goes to their house, they'll play for some bits and then they'll just get on to the yes, to the iPad.
Mhm.
Or I we haven't got a PlayStation for him yet, which
Mhm.
is
Okay.
a very very big thing, because all his friends have it, and we all know that
Mhm.
we all go through peer pressure, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think growing up, and probably when I was growing up, the peer pressure was, oh, I didn't have a good compass box, what we used to call that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I have
you press
it.
one button and something opens. Oh, I didn't have a good backpack going to school. I think that was our
Mhm.
peer pressure growing up.
Yeah.
So these we don't have we have consciously not got a PlayStation for him.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
not
Did he
about.
ask for?
Sorry.
Did he ask for it?
Yes, he did, but like I said, you already have a iPad. You
Mhm.
use TV. You use mobile phone. With another gadget, you will be
Mhm.
just hooked on to it. There's also something called as a Nintendo Switch Lite. So
Yes, right.
yes, so Nintendo is also, you connect onto the TV and you do the gaming. So
Mhm.
ultimately, it's just that. I don't know how how long can I claim that we don't have a PlayStation, because sooner we will have to.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yes, until now we haven't got it, and it's not like I am not trying to be say something which is like, oh, it's, but it's not the affordability issue. I'm not trying to be
Mhm.
very uh,
Mhm.
yeah. So but it's not the affordability issue, but I think it's a very conscious thing. Like, why do you need a
Mhm.
PlayStation? I mean, there's one more device, and sometimes I feel it's we parents who provide all the needs,
Mhm.
and then we keep blaming it. Oh, see what to do.
Yeah.
So yes, I, like I said, I don't know how long can I say this, that we don't have a PlayStation, because sooner or later we'll have to get into it. So yeah, but that's another interesting thing, Piyush. The
Mhm.
peer pressure. Now, most of his friends, not most, all of his friends have a PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Everybody.
Mhm.
So it's not a big deal these days, right? So
Mhm.
but I don't know, the way I have seen, he's never cried, or he's not made scenes out of it. Yes, he's
Mhm.
asked for it, and I
Yeah.
have given my logic and answers to him, and he's
Mhm.
like, okay, fine, it makes sense. But he's never cried, or he's, oh, I am the deprived one, I am the deprived soul on this earth, and I don't have a PlayStation.
Mhm.
Of course there are dramas at times, but I've
Yeah.
never seen him, right? Since his childhood, I've never seen him throwing tantrums for something. That is,
Oh.
yeah, and I
I
have
think
never.
which is great, and I think that is happening because you used to take his advice since he was a child, and I think he understands that how these conversation happens,
Yeah.
and that's why I think he's okay with it. So, what you have said that parenting is very challenging, but are there any easy parts also in parenting, that this is the easiest part in parenting?
Uh, I don't know how do I put it. Easiest part, I think. You probably see, again, children will not. I'm talking about right since the age of 2 and 3.
Hmm.
Um, they don't ask for things. All that you
Right.
have to give is just your time to them, and
Correct.
just play with them,
Hmm.
or just be there for them.
Hmm.
So I think that's the easiest part, which is probably, you just sit and play, right? Today also we play some board games. Of course, we have our share of arguments and everything, but we play
Hmm.
board games, we play Uno, we sit and play some chess for some time.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the easiest part is just giving time to your child, probably.
Hmm. Okay. And what is influencing your parenting? Like you are doing a lot of things, you are doing like tremendously well, and so where your parenting decisions are coming from, or choices in your parenting is coming from?
I think my choices are, I wouldn't say anything is influencing as such, but I think as a
Hmm.
person, I always felt, yes, there's one more thing which I would just like to mention here. All the parents, even we have heard this, oh, तुमको तो सब आसानी से मिल जाता है, तुमको
Hmm.
क्या है, you know, तुमको तो सब
Yeah.
मिल गया है. When we
Yeah.
were growing up, हमको नहीं मिला था. And this is a very common statement, right? We all
Yeah, right.
we
Correct.
have heard from our parents have said to us, their parents have said to, everybody uses this. But I think I stay away from these conversations.
Hmm.
I never. So if you ask me what influences me, I don't know what influences me. But I think as a person, I don't believe in saying it's not that child's fault. No, he or she is getting everything. Who is
Hmm.
providing him? Who is providing them? It's the
Hmm.
parents, right?
Hmm.
And why are we providing them? Like, I can't provide my child with a jet. I can't give my
Yeah.
child. I can give my child a PlayStation, yeah,
Yeah.
but I haven't got him yet. I can give my
Mm-hmm.
child, I can easily give my child a mobile phone, an iPhone I can give him. But
Mm-hmm.
again, if I'm giving that and also saying it or rubbing it on them, ओ तुमको तो सब आसानी से मिल जाता है, तुमको क्या मालूम
Mm-hmm.
स्ट्रगल क्या होता है, but it's not their fault.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be saying these things to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have heard this million times from my parents, and I'm sure even you have heard it.
True.
So I don't, as a person, I maybe I would say as a person probably I'm evolved that much, or
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot. So probably that has influenced me, but I don't believe in saying such things to my child. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you got, everything easily, doesn't
Yeah.
matter to you. You don't value it, but who's giving it to him? It's
Mm-hmm.
we who are giving it to them. We are the providers.
Yeah, true. So, can I say like it's your own self awareness which is helping you making conscious parenting choices?
Yes, definitely. Which I have always made them, right? Since he
Mm-hmm.
was, he was a child. Um, yes, definitely. I think it's just a self awareness, or it's a my consciousness that I can't be saying such things to my child, or it could. Now that you're saying this, I just, something just opened up for me, which is, I have heard this right since my childhood, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to say that to my child, or I'm not saying our parents were right or wrong. See, everybody
Mm-hmm.
is the byproduct of their experiences, the way
True.
they have been nurtured, the way they have been brought up, but that doesn't mean that we should also continue doing that. So
Yeah.
this also comes from somewhere when my parents have been saying this, and when I was growing up, I know what I used to feel. I used to
Mm-hmm.
just say it's not my fault. No, how is it my
Mm-hmm.
fault? ये
Mm-hmm.
मेरा मेरा गलती नहीं है ना, that I am, or even to an extent that ये मेरा गलती नहीं है that I'm born to you. you know
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that that kind of a rift also happens. So yes, so to answer you, one is definitely from my consciousness, my self awareness, and two, whatever my parents said growing up and which I
Mm-hmm.
felt bad or which impacted me, I don't want the same to be, said to my child. I'm making that effort. That doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm saying that doesn't mean that I am super good and I don't say anything, or I
Mm-hmm.
know, I say him everything possible when I'm
Mm-hmm.
angry or when I'm upset. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, I am also equally, we both are growing, we both are
Yes.
evolving in this process.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you do anything specific to build self awareness in you as a parent, or it's just into you?
I think it is just into me, and I don't do anything specifically. But yes, I like I said, I read a lot of stuff, not just on parenting,
Mm-hmm.
overall. When I watch something, or I don't like, just to give a small example, it's just out of
Mm-hmm.
context. I will never go and watch a movie like Animal. I'm sorry, that's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
you know so these are very small things, but I think it's probably just me, is what I feel. I am not trying to say that I'm one extraordinary human being on this earth. No,
Mm-hmm.
definitely not. I'm below average, but I think it's just me.
Okay. And if I want to understand, like, a lot of thing is coming from your own self-awareness and your past experiences which you have felt when you were a child. So did you give any thought to build any parenting vision for yourself in this course of time, that this is the vision I have in my mind, or you or your spouse together have made any sort of parenting vision for your son?
I think we not really a vision as such,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if we just explored this along the way, as it came. But I think one thing is both of us always have said that no matter what, um we all have aspirations for our children. Like, I feel he should be a tennis player someday, like an international icon and everything. But I
Mm-hmm.
think at the end of the day, we both always feel that, be it education or be it parenting or whatever it is, we need to make him like, a sensible human being who can
Mm-hmm.
make decisions. who should also make decisions and who should also fall. You should also be able to, I personally believe so much in this, that you should know how to also handle your failures. That is
Mhm.
extremely important. You should fail, you should stand up again, you should,
Mhm.
fight back. And that's all I want him to be. I don't have a vision, we don't have a vision, but I think he should
Mhm.
just be a very sensible, kind, he should know, when, and he should be able to accept his own failures.
Mhm.
Smallest of the things would be, probably, when, a sports day, you don't
Mhm.
you don't win and your friend
Yeah.
wins, you don't even
Mhm.
go to the finishing line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you, even if you're last, like, they had a school run and he came second last in that district run.
Mhm.
But again, I obviously, as a parent, I want to see him, coming first or probably cheering, but that's my expectation from him.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not necessarily that every time, he will fulfill it, or rather, why should he fulfill our expectations? It is
Oh.
him who has to feel, I need to, be the first, or I need to
Mhm.
do this. That should be the
Mhm.
driving force, and only then I think he will be, coming in probably the first or the numbers. He came second last, and I think it was all right. He was disappointed, which is a good sign that he felt, oh, I should have, I
Mhm.
shouldn't be the second last. Uh,
Mhm.
but he did not give up, which is important. There was
Yes.
a,
Correct.
yeah, because it was like a district run, so it is like a big, how do I put it? It was like a big, run to in the park. So it
Mhm.
was a big, huge area. It was not just a small area, and it was
Mhm.
into the woods and all. So it was easy for him to give up and not just complete the race. But he did
Mhm.
not do that. So I
Yeah.
think, when you asked, what vision, I really don't have any vision, but I think, they need to learn how to fail, which is very,
Mhm.
very important. They need to
Mhm.
know how to deal with your failures.
Mhm.
you know Dealing with your failures, if they have to go through whatever that trauma, I wouldn't say trauma, probably is a big word. Now,
Mhm.
district run is a small failure
Yeah.
probably, but there will
Yeah.
be bigger failures in life.
Mhm.
There will be lots and lots of such things. They should know how to He should know how to deal with it, how
Mhm.
to sustain through it. And,
Mhm.
I think he should have a very sensible, you know how do I put it? Again, I can't be guiding him every now and then. We have to
Mhm.
let them make their share of mistakes, let them
Mhm.
understand and let them grow. As a
Mhm.
parent, any parent would always feel ki, oh my god, mera bachcha girna nahi chahiye. Yeah.
Mhm.
Even, that's another interesting thing. I keep going back, um, when he was growing up and when he used to fall down, I
Mhm.
never would go and, like, oh my god. It's a very common thing you do. Anybody I have seen doing is, अच्छा तुमको लग गया, मैं उसको मारता हूँ, मैं उसको मार,
Yeah.
whatever it is, वो चेयर
Yeah.
है या सोफा है, वो चेयर या
Mhm.
सोफे की तो गलती है नहीं, तो तुम,
Correct.
but this is how we nurture our children.
Mhm.
यू नो
Mhm.
कि अगर मैं गिर गया तो मेरी गलती नहीं है, गलती किसी की
Yeah.
भी नहीं है. Falling is a natural thing. It's a part of growing, and I'm not just saying falling on the stairs, falling. I'm not saying that falling
Yeah.
also means your failures. you know
Mhm. Mhm.
when you're small, yes. to, and if you see a child, when he learns walking, you know these are the things. Nobody teaches a child कि तुमको, जब बच्चा छोटा होता है, उसको भूख लगती है तो रोना कौन सिखाता है उसको? Has somebody taught him?
It's natural.
It's an instinct.
Yeah.
When they start walking, they fall, they collapse so many times,
Yeah.
but they just get up on
Hmm.
their own. So,
Hmm.
as human beings, we have this a natural ability to fall and get up. But I
Yeah.
think over the period of time, as we grow up, and as we are nurtured, we sometimes we feel, oh, failures are not for me. फेलियर्स आर
Hmm.
जस्ट नॉट फॉर मी. और मुझे
Hmm.
ये सिखाया नहीं गया है कभी भी कि मैं भी फेल हो सकता हूँ. you know
Hmm.
no, but I
Yeah.
these are the small things. When he used to fall down, I never used to be like, oh my god, my baby, my sweetheart, no, it's okay, it's all right,
Hmm.
गिर गए, get up and get
Yeah.
moving.
That's true.
So yeah, so again I think
So, like, this is one thing which you said when a child fall, we say, "Oh, गिर गया," and इसकी पिटाई करते हैं. It
हाँ.
actually also teaches a child that hitting is okay when you are hurt by somebody, and it gets nurtured into any child. That when somebody will hurt you in any way, and not physically but emotionally also, you can hit them back with words or hands or something. That also teaches that thing. But thank you for
So
bringing
yeah,
that.
like growing up, it's a very common thing कि अगर बच्चा गिर
Yeah.
गया तो तुमको ये लग गया मैं इसको ये चेयर को मारता हूँ, हट
Right.
फट फट, या whatever it is, ये
Yeah.
तुमको इससे लग गया ये सोफा को मैं मारता हूँ, या whatever. It's a very
Hmm.
common thing. Again, there are no
True.
wrongs, there are no rights. But I
Yeah.
think yes, as a person, or we all need to evolve. Probably
Hmm.
for me, I think maybe I'm silly when I have thought these small things and said that, oh, I shouldn't be doing or saying these things to my child. So yes.
And when you said that you want your son to be sensible, kind, and able to cope up with the failures. So now, as a parent, like, what are you doing to to build these values into your son, or any parent can do to build these values in their child?
Like I said, it's not that I constructively think and do something, but it's just a everyday learning. It's a learning for him, it's a learning for me. I am not a
Hmm.
pro, or I don't
Hmm.
I don't have a PhD in parenting.
Hmm.
But like, he went for the district run, he did not give up. So for me, it was, I appreciated that he did not give up. But I also
Hmm.
told him at the same time, there was a different kind of happiness when you reached the goal before anybody else.
Hmm.
So this is just a way of saying things, that it's okay, you failed is fine. But that
Hmm.
also doesn't mean that some point in time he'll say, oh, my mom is okay with me failing all the time, she doesn't say anything to me.
Hmm.
I don't want him to do something because I'm saying him. He was
Yeah.
hurt somewhere. I could see
Hmm.
that he was not being him. He was really upset about the fact that he did not, because when you see the number one, number two, three are being clicked pictures and everybody is cheering them, you need to
Hmm.
have that thing, that, oh, it's hurting
Yeah.
me, you know
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
hurting me.
Yeah. Right.
I
Correct.
should have made an attempt and be there. So like I said, it's a learning. It just happens every day. There's no
Template to it.
yeah, or I don't sit and give him or tell him, or I don't decide, okay, today I'm going to talk to him about failures. No, it's a day to day
Hmm.
thing. He did not do well in some tests, and I
Hmm.
told him, it's up to you. But there are always two things. One, that you make an attempt, or you have that desire that, I'm going to crack this. That is
Hmm.
one thing. You need to have that fire. Nobody can get that into you. Not even
Yeah.
your mother or nobody. You just have to, like the way when he's playing or when he's gaming, he feels that I need to be on the top. I need to be on the top. So that's the
Yeah.
fire that one needs to have. So yes, there's no as such, like I said, I sit today, okay, today I'm going to talk to him about so and so. And again, I said, it's also when you observe, when you see that your parent, or
Right.
the way, because I too have my failures, I'm also struggling with a lot of things. So when he
Hmm.
sees that, it just, your subconscious mind just picks it up, and I think I have picked it up to some extent from my parents growing up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So it's basically comes down to parents' actions in front of the
absolutely
kids, and they naturally pick them up, and which is also helping you in building or in giving the values of kindness, sensibility, and coping up with the failures.
true.
So you also spoke about like you and your husband discussed something around it. But how is spouse support looks like in parenting? How important it is, especially in the first 5 years and in the next 5 years for you, and how it evolved the support of spouse.
It's a I would say it's not just one person, or it's just not the
Mm-hmm.
mother or the father.
Mm-hmm.
We have our differences in the way upbringing is. Like I said, everybody is a byproduct of their nurturing, their upbringing, their circumstances, and everything. So we do have these differences. Not necessarily we always, not always. Most of the time, we don't agree on each
Mm-hmm.
other's ways. But I think we are just accepting it the way it is. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
See, because you just can't go and change things. I
Yeah.
can't change. He can't change. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the what is the objective? The objective is good for the child.
Yeah.
That both the partners or both the people have just one aim, that your child should do good, or
Mm-hmm.
now the ways, yes, the ways are different, thoughts are different. But I don't think you can have one common approach, or that's just not possible, because everybody is different. The way I look at a situation is
Mm-hmm.
completely different versus he or she would react to it, or your spouse would react similarly. So there are no such pacts between us that we will only have this approach, or but
Mm-hmm.
I think luckily both of us, like I said, we whenever we spoke, we always said we want him to be successful, not successful, everything is fine. We just want him to be a very sensible and a person who
Mm-hmm.
really thinks that person with his consciousness, which
Mm-hmm.
is important. And our job, I think, as parents, is to nurture that consciousness.
Mm-hmm. So, because you two are on same page with respect to big picture, so it helps you guys to navigate the other differences smoothly. Can I say that?
No, not really.
Okay.
Because we have our share of uh, indifferences, and we don't agree, so but which is fine. I mean,
Mhm.
what do you do? You just can't
Yeah,
every time.
it's fine.
You just
But I
can't
want.
be fighting every time. They say you can't always fight a battle. So it's
Mhm.
okay. Just leave it. No, it's fine. Ultimately, both of us want good for him. Your way, his way would be different. My way would be a little different. But it's
Mhm.
so yeah. So we just let it be rather than getting and making one khichdi out of it.
Mhm.
So yeah.
But doesn't it affect your son in any way that mom is saying that dad is saying something else?
So of course he takes disadvantages.
Oh.
Definitely. I think
Mhm.
as human being, we are very very clever in taking disadvantages or taking advantages for our own self. So he plays that. Of course he plays that, and
Okay.
I'm sure every child does that, and every household does that. But
Mhm.
then you still, I think you should. I think the whole thing is you don't. Okay, nobody has a perfect thing. Nobody has a
Yeah.
picture perfect, and so we all. He's learning. I am learning. All of us are learning and growing and evolving.
Mhm.
So, and honestly, if you ask me as a person, I think I am just let everybody be the way they are,
Mhm.
and you be the way you are. You know, don't
Mhm.
just keep on interfering in everybody's way. Of course I have done that. I'm not saying that, oh,
Mhm.
I'm an enlightened Buddha sitting here. No, I have done
Mhm.
that. We both have done that, interfering. But eventually you come to a point, it's okay, just let it be.
I'm also trying to understand the spouse role in terms of the support structure while raising a kid. Like you said that you had very limited support structures. In you have a lot of little limited support structures in UK. While you were in Bombay, there was still a support structure. So when you guys moved to UK, then like in terms of a support structure, was there any expectation from your spouse? And what sort of expectation comes into picture, if any?
I think both of us had to be, be, how do I put it? There were no expectations as such, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, we had to take, it's just us, and we had to, sometimes when your child is unwell, sometimes when your child is throwing tantrums. But I think we just managed it. We just, like I said, both of us gave him a lot of time. We took him to outdoors, we took him to parks, we took
Mm-hmm.
him to various places here in the UK. And the best part about UK is you have a lot of open outdoor spaces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can only speak of Mumbai because I have lived there. Unfortunately, in Mumbai, you don't have. I mean, if you have to go, you would just go to the mall. Where else do you go?
Yeah.
Because there's no
True.
space. So
Yeah.
I think that we just went outdoor a lot. We went,
Mm-hmm.
probably, we went, biking, or we would do these kind of things. We would just go to a lot of places. We would go in the nature, we would go holidaying. So this is a kind of support system that we just created, and we worked around it. And I think everybody who lives their country eventually does that. Because, see, again, it's here, it's very difficult because also weather is not
Mm-hmm.
very favorable. Like, you have
Mm-hmm.
winters, and now,
Yeah.
especially in the winters, which is the current season now, you
Mm-hmm.
outside everything just, gets dark around 3:30 p.m. So
Mm-hmm.
3:30 everything is pitch dark. You feel it's like 9 p.m. or is it 3:30 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Also, one more thing is there are a lot of other things, like he plays tennis. So he
Okay.
plays tennis at a, to put it, at a district level. You know,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he plays tennis. He goes to piano. He does swimming. Swimming, of course, it's a life essential thing. It's not, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the best part. Children here do everything with their schooling.
Mm-hmm.
They do
Yeah.
everything else and many more things. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like, unlike children will go to school, they will come back, they'll go to tuitions, they will come back
Mm-hmm.
at school. From school, when they come back and they go to tuitions, at tuition they'll sit and do the school homework, they will come home and they will do the tuition homework. So I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
it's a very unfortunate thing in Mumbai. But yes, of course, children do other activities. I'm not saying children don't do anything in Mumbai
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
just. I'm not saying that. But
Mm-hmm.
here it's more like, you go out a lot. Even if it's winters, you still go out. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
just sitting inside the house.
Yeah.
So that is more one of the advantages, when it comes in
Mm-hmm.
creating a little bit of support, a lot of outdoor activities.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, confined to just sitting in the house. Even if it's winters, you go out. Here, I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
what I have noticed is, even if it's a newborn, and
Mm-hmm.
if the newborn is born in winter, then what do? You can't wait until spring and summer comes. No, they just get the babies out. Even a 1 day old
Mm-hmm.
baby goes out. So
Yeah.
I think it's more also in the environment. It's
Mm-hmm.
like people here or children here do so many things.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, even your child, this is also a part of the peer pressure, that he goes there, he goes here, everybody goes here. It's not just about gadgets. Or
Yeah. Yeah. True.
children go to the libraries and sit there in the libraries. So
Mm-hmm.
there, a lot of these outdoor things also have helped.
So, how does your mental health play? What role does mental health play in your parenting journey? So, you have been like 10-year parent right now. So, how it got if it got affected, in what way, and what could have helped you to actually address it, or it should not have hit you in any way?
I think, of course, your mental health plays a very, very important and a crucial role, not just in parenting, but in everything that you do.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
um,
But
yes,
I'm
and
asking with respect to parenting only. I'm asking
no,
with respect to parenting.
yes. So, in parenting also, it's very, very important, because if you are not sound, if you are not stable, what kind of an environment, or what kind of because if you are frustrated all the time, if you are angry, if you are upset all the time,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of environment are you going to give that child? That child is just, forget about giving the environment. Like I said, children just pick up things,
Yeah.
subconscious, consciously.
Mm-hmm.
They just,
Mm-hmm.
even when it's a newborn, he picks your energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it will be wrong to be saying, oh, every time having a positive meant, no, doesn't work for anybody. um like said, I have my shares of failures, I have my struggles, I have my limitations. I sometimes, even I get angry, I get upset, I say
Mm-hmm.
things. But then I think the key is to, have that realization, and just, say it, control, not control, but say to yourself, if I am doing this, what is my child going to do, or what is my child
Mm-hmm.
going to learn out of it? So
Mm-hmm.
it will be wrong to say that, oh, I'm always positive and I am so, always. No, definitely not. I have
Mm-hmm.
my frustrations, I have my work frustrations, I have plenty of other things, the family things, everything. But I think,
Mm-hmm.
you, at the end of the day, you just sit down and say to yourself, like, you your child is learning from you always.
Mm-hmm.
So
So it's more about self accountability towards your own kid that helps.
absolutely, and it's about self realization more than anything else. And when you, like, another thing, when I have gone and said to my child, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have reacted this way. This is a very wrong
Mm-hmm.
way of me reacting this way to you.
Mm-hmm.
So when something happens in between us, he comes and tells me that, I'm sorry, you know, I shouldn't have reacted in this way.
Hmm.
But if I keep on saying that, oh, I'm the only one who's right in this, I'm the only one and I'm your mother, you have to listen to me no matter what happens. I'm your mother, I'm your mother. Of course, I do that at times. Of course, even I do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, it's the way you react. It's the way you control your emotions, or it's the way you react to situations. The child just picks up, because I have seen him coming to me and saying these things without, without me, or he's just observing. Oh, if my mom can come and accept her failures and faults, I
Mm-hmm.
can do that too.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's like a give and take. It's just,
Correct.
it's a process. So there are no, and now I'm talking so much to you, and I'm talking so much nice things to you, and when he comes home, probably I'll just burst at him, or I just shout at him. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just a process. There can't be good days, there can't be just bad days. But at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, one has to ask, not just in your parenting journey also, but one has to ask that, am I being, sensible, or the way we react to everything
Mm-hmm.
around us? And in the first place, do we need to react to everything around us? you know
Hmm.
so yeah.
So, what are the happiest moment of parenting?
I think happiest moment is when your child just comes and hugs you, or
Hmm.
when your child just, um, comes and says, sorry, when you're not even expecting that. Or
Mm-hmm.
when you are upset over something and your child comes and, consoles you. Or if, for your failure, if the child sees and says that it's okay, it's exactly what you have been nurturing, the way you have been nurturing your child. And if the child comes and says you, it's okay, it's okay, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if you did not do it, or you couldn't finish it, or you couldn't do it, or you did not do well. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these are the happiest moments, when the child just comes and hugs you and says that, it's okay to fall, mummy, it's all right.
And what makes you angry in parenting? In parenting.
So those typical things, when you really think, like, for example, if your child has some, let's say if he has a cold and still he opens a fridge and eats an ice cream, that really boils you. But then again, I also feel that, there there has been a time. Now he is quite, I would say, he is sensible. He's not like a 2 year and 3 year old, or he's not a toddler or a 5 year old. So it's okay. So I tell myself that, okay, I am just going to give him an advice not to eat it. Ice cream is
Mhm.
just an example. But if he does it, he's responsible for his health. I am not
Mhm.
responsible if he's going to cough, you
Mhm.
know? So it's, these are things which really upsets me or makes me angry. But then again, that is also one more thing, which is you have to learn how to detach yourself,
Mhm.
because yes, when they were young, they were dependent on you. You are the world to them, you know
Mhm.
you are
Yeah.
like, yeah, yes, you will say this, they will do it. But as they grow, but for you, because you feel that, oh my god, you have done so much for them. This is again a constant conversation which all of the parents say, oh, मैंने इतना किया है तुम्हारे लिए, मैं इतनी
Mhm.
रात जागी हूँ, मैंने इतना सब किया है. But the child will get up and say, did I ask you to do that?
Mhm.
Why are you
Correct.
telling me, why are you counting your things on me?
Mhm.
So I think there comes the detachment. Okay, you are not listening to me because you are having cold and cough, and you open a fridge and have an ice cream. You are responsible for your health.
Mhm.
You will have to bear the consequences. So
Correct.
it's not just eating an ice cream, but there will be many more. Like I tell him, if you don't, invest your time in studies, you will bear the consequences. Probably you will not understand them now,
Mhm.
but you will have to bear the consequences. As a parent, you can only, probably, with this age or going forward also,
Mhm.
when they will grow, when he turns 15, 16, 18, I'm sure he'll have more. He will think he knows everything, and
Mhm.
parent, you really don't interfere in my life.
Yeah.
That's a common thing which will, but as a parent, you need to learn how to detach yourself. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing.
How do you do that?
No, it's a hard. I am still struggling with it. But like I said, if it's a small of the thing, which is like, if I tell him, okay, you're unwell, don't eat this, or don't, which will affect your cold, or which will trigger it more. But if
Mhm.
he is hell bent on doing it, okay, it's not I whatever I could do, I had to tell you, I had to inform you or advise you, I did that. Yes, of course,
Mhm.
as a mother, your heart sinks to see that your child will be unwell. But then that is the time when you have to tell, you did your job. Yes, you
Mhm.
did your job. And see, eventually you have to detach, because another 10 years and he will get out of the house. Yes,
Mhm.
because children move out here. Not just here, but I think anyway, for education, or so you have to learn to detach yourself. I have done lots of things for him. I don't count those things,
Mhm.
because that was my choice as a parent.
Mhm.
It was my choice as a parent that I wanted to give time to him, and I did. I sacrificed few things. I sacrificed my career, but that was my choice. He never
Mhm.
came and said, no, oh, you
Correct.
sacrificed these things. So
Yes.
I think yes. So these are the small things, as again, I would come back to, like, I have heard this, and this is commonly, oh, हमने इतने sacrifices किए तुम्हारे लिए.
Hmm.
मैंने तो नहीं बोला था तुमको करने के लिए ना.
Yeah.
We do it because it's our choice. So
Yes.
that detachment, I think it has to happen. How that happens, I don't know. It's again a process. I am trying to, like now also, if he doesn't listen to me, or there's some challenges that we have, I tell myself that,
Mhm.
I am showing him, or I am giving him the guidance, or I'm showing him the direction. He doesn't want to walk on that. How can I be?
Mhm.
If my heart will sink to
True.
see my child fail, or in trouble, or in pain.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know how to define that. But you have to learn that, that detachment.
Mhm. And does or are or were there any moments in your parenting journey when parenting has made you cry?
Oh, every day. Of course it makes you cry. Of course it makes you. When you, I still remember when he was a baby, and when the babies just learn to turn on their tummy and they
Mhm.
start
Yeah.
crawling on the bed. And we had come from shopping or somewhere, and I had put it on the bed, and I just went to the washroom and something, and I think in his sleep he banged down on the floor.
Okay.
So that was like, it hurt. It just hurts to see your child in pain, no matter what age
Mhm.
he or she is, even if he's a toddler, even if he's tomorrow is 20, 30, 40, whatever it is. And of
Mhm.
course there are sad moments. When I still remember when he went to school and he was crying the first day, that
Mhm.
detachment. But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, you have to learn that detachment. I cried
Mhm.
like hell. I just stood outside the school gate for the entire time.
Mhm.
बट यस, बट अगेन आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू, मैं उसको इसकी गिनती नहीं मैं कराती हूँ कभी कि ओ
Mhm.
तुम तुम मुझे इतना बैक आंसर कर रहे हो, एंड मैं तो तुम्हारे स्कूल के बाहर खड़ी थी तो वो उठ के बोलेगा मैंने बोला था कि तुमको खड़े रहने के लिए.
सही बात है.
तो see, these, yes, of
Mhm.
course. You asked me, did you cry? Lots of time. Even today, if if he's unwell, if he's really unwell, that sinks my heart. Sometimes when he doesn't listen to me, I feel very bad. I feel hurt. I don't cry, but yes, there are lots and lots of moments, when you can't see your child in pain no matter what,
Mhm.
however you say detachment, and but the moment you see your child in pain, as a mother, your heart just sinks.
What helps you to overcome this hurt or pain?
I say it to myself, which is, I will particularly say in the instance where you are trying to constantly tell your child the right. When I say right, what I mean is कि for example screen time है या कोई दूसरी चीज है या junk है या ये what very various things.
Mhm.
So I just tell myself I have done what I have to do.
Mhm.
Beyond this I can't go on and on, because then you will just argue. You will just end up, and he say, oh, this is my life. I know.
Mhm.
So I just tell myself I have done my thing. It's not in my control, or I can't control these things.
Mhm.
So I just say that to myself, that I literally say that to myself, I have done my job. Not like my
Mhm.
parenting job is done, but I had
Mhm.
whatever I had to say, or I had to show him a direction or a communication, it's done. If he
Mhm.
doesn't want to see, it's a simple thing. अगर तुमको नहीं करना है तुम नहीं करोगे, no matter
Yeah.
what. It's like,
Mhm.
there's a old saying कि तुम घोड़े को पानी के पास ले जा सकते हो, तुम उसको
Mhm.
पानी नहीं पिला सकते. So I
Mhm.
think you just have to keep yourself and say that my job is done, I can't go beyond this.
Hmm.
That's how I do for myself.
Got it. And how do you manage your like me time in the presence of your own son when son is around and you need your me time? How do you manage that?
I don't think there's me time as such when they are around. So
Mhm.
probably when they're not, that is only me time. And
Okay.
yeah, so and like I said, I have my set of friends. I For my emotional well-being or for my mental health, I go out with them, or I be with them. I talk to them. Um, Earlier, I used to do this. I will call if I'm out with my friends. I'll call my husband.
Mhm.
Oh, has he eaten? Oh, has he done this? But now I've stopped doing that because he's not
Mhm.
that young anymore. On the contrary, he calls me. When are you coming home? When are you coming home? When are you getting home? I think I'm missing you. He will call, but I have stopped doing that consciously. When he was
Mhm.
young, I used to. Oh, has he had water? Oh, has he had? It's okay. You
Mhm.
know, as a mother, you feel, oh my God, my child will not survive without me. That's not the fact. Your
Mhm.
child will survive without you, no matter what. Now I
Mhm.
don't do it. Now I don't call
Got
him,
it.
or consciously, make a point that I don't call.
Right. And have you ever find the need of setting up any boundaries with your son at any point of time.
What do you mean by boundaries?
Like,
Is it in context to something particular?
no, no, in general, like maybe you are working and you don't want him to come or come and ask or invade your privacy in that way.
Then they will always come and invade your privacy the moment you do that. But there's another, thing which comes to my mind when you say boundaries. We all know that these days, children are exposed to a lot of things, be it over the internet, the content. Even you switch on the Netflix, or even you on any of the, forget about the English movies, but if you even switch on any series, there's so much of adult content everywhere. The language, the content. Um, I'll just give you a simple thing. I never, if my child asks me something, I never say, um, you know, I keep, I just love giving these examples. It's a simple thing when बच्चा कैसे पैदा होता है. So the
Mhm.
most common thing we have heard from our parents and every, oh, तो भगवान देता है.
Yeah.
So I have never said such things to my child,
Mhm.
or if he would ask me, if you're socially drinking, I would never say, see, it's a human tendency. The moment you say, ये तुमको नहीं करना है, the first thing you will go and do is do that, or this is
Mhm.
bad for you.
Mhm.
I don't know how much can I say on this podcast, but we were recently on a holiday back in Mumbai, and
Mhm.
he has a lot of friends there, his childhood friends. So he goes there and he plays with them. He will be playing cricket. जैसे होता है ना, typically society में
Yes.
बच्चे खेल.
Yes.
हाँ, and he still has those connections. I still have my friends there. So
Mhm.
he always goes, and he goes and plays with them. So recently, this was on a recent trip. One of the boys, they were all speaking in Marathi and something, and he picked up a bad word, like a,
Mhm.
yeah, okay, to put it simple, a gali.
Mhm.
Obviously, he doesn't know. So in his Marathi accent, he just came home and he just randomly said that. Now I will tell you, okay, there's a difference. So my I never said that this is not good. I never
Mhm.
say this to him, or this is bad. Because the moment I say this, there's an urge. It's a natural human tendency कि तुमने मुझे बोला ये नहीं करना है ना, अब
Mhm.
तो मुझे वो करके देखना है.
Mhm.
So I didn't even react to it.
Mhm.
Then he asked me the meaning of that word. And I explained him what the meaning is. I never said, oh, तुमको अकल है क्या, ये कैसे तुम बोल सकते हो, you can't say this. Or why there needs to be a drama around it? We
Mhm.
all have, picked up bad words. We all have, have uh, heard things which we are not supposed to hear. So why there needs to be a drama around it? Because the
Mhm.
moment you say no, you know it's a human psyche that, okay, I have been told not to do this, now let me do this. So
Yes.
I didn't react to it. I didn't say anything to him ki this is a bad word, you can't be saying that, don't pick up. He himself, after 2 days, he asked me the meaning, and I explained him what the meaning of that word was. And he said,
Mhm.
oh, mom, this is not something which needs to be used, right? I said, yes.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think,
That's so simple, and yeah,
sorry?
that's so simple, and it's effective also. Like, 'cause kid is coming to you and asking the meaning and self-interpreting it. Yeah, it is wrong and need not to be said. It is
Yeah, but
nice.
if there is, which is a very common thing, that there's a lot of drama which happens. Oh, how can you say this such things? Oh, we come from a nice family background. Oh my God, तुमने कैसे बोल लिया ये? Okay, don't react to it. No, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that everything needs to be handled this way or every situation. But if you ask me where do I get this from, I really don't know.
Okay, it's
But
okay.
I think I don't usually react to certain.
Mhm.
There's when things are kept under the carpet and you are there's a intriguing things. Oh, what is it? What is it? Like a simple thing, I will tell you. I hide, I hide the chocolates or the cookies.
Hmm.
There is an urge in him. He will go and he'll find them.
Yeah.
But that's a human tendency, isn't it?
Yes.
We all are intrigued.
Hmm.
So he just said, "Oh, you know what? I will make my own decision when I have to have an alcohol when I'm 18."
Hmm.
So I again, I'm saying not everything needs to be handled this way. Everybody should follow this. I'm not saying that, but
Hmm.
I think the parenting lies in how you react to
Hmm.
everything around you, and do you need to react to everything around you? He really used a bad word in Mumbai.
Hmm.
So, and of course, my husband reacted to it, but I didn't. And 2 days later, he asked me that, what is that meaning? And he
Hmm.
himself said, "Oh, this is not something which needs to be used." Rather than, you
Hmm.
imposing things, and I am not saying that doesn't mean that you shouldn't impose. No, I am definitely not saying all these things. I am just saying what works for me. And this is what
Hmm.
works for me.
Hmm.
Probably this is the way I am. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, I understand, like, with respect to your own boundaries, like how it works, but have your son asked for his own space or boundaries for himself or me time from
Oh,
you?
oh, of course he has. He says, "Oh, I need my own space. Oh, I
Hmm.
need my own, freedom. I am an adult, not an adult. I'm a preteen.
Hmm.
So I know things. I know how to take care of me." So I just tell him that, why don't you do something? Why don't on this weekend you go to the supermarket and do do that chore, and
Hmm.
just all the thing. Oh no, I don't think I can do that. So,
Okay.
obviously he asked for it. Oh, I need some my space. I need some freedom in my life. I don't need any
Hmm.
interference. He says all these things.
Hmm.
So sometimes when things are a little calmed down, I ask him that, do you really not want me to interfere in your life, and you really think that you know everything, and you are capable? And I tell him, I'm absolutely okay to be not interfering. Just tell me you want me to do that. He says, no, no, I don't think so. You're right. So I think these are just spur of moments.
Hmm.
And again, how you handle, do you need to, most of the times, when he says these things, I don't react to it. Or I
Hmm.
don't say that, oh, I'm your mother, I know everything. How I do react sometimes. But most of the times I would be like, okay, okay, fine. And then when things are calmed down, probably 2 days later, I would just, ask, do you really want me to do that? Oh no, I don't think so. I'm capable of doing that for now. So
Hmm.
I think it's just spur of moment most of the times. And you should know when and where to add fire to that moment.
So, when do you add fire to the moment?
When you are agitated, and when you are out of, it does happen. No, it does happen that,
Yes, it
not
happens.
every time like I said, probably the next moment I will be like somebody else. But again, you have to ask yourself, is this, how you are
Hmm.
reacting, is this all right? And is this, forget, and again, you know I think what really works is, even if you're a parent or you're a mother or you're a father, you should never forget that you're an individual first.
Hmm.
You should never ever forget that you are an individual, and
Hmm.
you are a parent, yes, but that's after that. So
Hmm.
I always, I always give, you can call it a selfish thing, but I always give importance to myself first.
So, how do you handle when he asks for money? That I want to understand, especially it's coming from preteen, or maybe not just money, but he wants to party with the friends. As something like that has come up.
Not really, because I think money. I started a very simple thing with him some time back. That you do a chore, and I will pay you for that chore. In the house. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, that worked for some time. That didn't work for some time. But otherwise, he doesn't really. Like I said, he doesn't have a PlayStation. He's not somebody who is thrown tantrums for it, or not just a PlayStation, but for anything, whatever he has seen. His friends has lots and lots of
Mhm.
fancier things, but he has expressed that,
Mhm.
oh, I don't have that. He's never I think he's content with what he has, is what I feel, sometimes,
Okay.
because I have never seen
Mhm.
him like, throughout my childhood, I had one regret, which is I never owned a bicycle, you know and I carried that so much,
Mhm.
and I've I think when I think the way I was as a child, I was used to cry for things. Oh, I want this, I want. I've never seen him doing that. Maybe he's already getting everything, or
Mhm.
I don't know. Is it my upbringing? No, I'm just trying to be nice here. But I think
Mhm.
he hasn't really asked for, or that situation hasn't come that he's asked for money, or yes, he does ask for few things, but he wants to party with his friends, and I need money. I don't think. I think he's a bit content the way he is what I have noticed, and whatever things he has. Um,
Mhm.
I have never seen him throwing tantrums or making dramas for things that he doesn't have or doesn't possess. Except for using the iPad, I've never seen him, because I think he's really hooked on to that game. So what I'm trying to do is,
Mhm.
I'm trying to understand that, how has that game, how has that game increased his thinking power or his imagination? Because there has to be, I have to reach to a common ground every time. If I keep saying to him, no, you can't, and if he's so much after it, so I have started, looking at
Mhm.
it, that how is that game, because he's at the top of that game, in that space or wherever
Mhm.
he is at the top of it. So
Yeah.
but also I am
Mhm.
started to looking at the positive things now. How is it building his imagination? How is he?
Mhm.
How is it helping him? How is it? Because otherwise, we will be constantly in this rift. Oh, he's just using the iPad. He's just using the iPad,
Yeah.
and he'll be like, "Oh, my mom just doesn't let me use it." So I think because I have
Mhm.
more experience and I am more evolved in my age, so I am just trying to
Yeah.
understand that how is that bringing out his personality. Because gadgets, also there's an
Mhm.
advantage, right? Children do learn a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying
Mhm.
to see that. And besides that, to answer your question, I don't think he's ever asked for money or yeah.
Got it. And if given a chance, like to relive your parenting journey again, since from starting, like what will you do differently this time, and
I
why?
don't think so. I will do anything differently, because I think I have already done things quite differently. Whatever I have seen with my friends, with my, the people around me. So I don't think I
Mhm.
will do anything differently, because I think I made whatever I feel. I made the right choices. The way I brought him, be it food habits, or
Mhm.
be his nurturing, be letting him play, or any kind of development. I don't think I will do anything indifferently.
Hmm. And do you follow any kind of like online help channels for parenting? In any articles on internet or any support communities you're
So
part
I am
of?
part of a
And
simple
how do they help
parenting
you?
group, which also,
Hmm.
I love the way they share the stuff. If you really go through what they write, their write ups, that is really helpful. I
Hmm.
think, that is the
Hmm.
kind of person I am. It connects more with me. You can't always be telling your child this is right, this is wrong, let them make their own decisions. I think I'm very much that kind of a person, and I can connect very well with that. So yes, I do
Hmm.
follow them. And there is also, there are Steiner educations in India, Steiner education schools.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I started him with Steiner education, and then when we moved here, yes. So
Okay.
I am more in that kind of a parent who believes in, giving your child the freedom, giving your child, let him or her make their own choices, let them fall, and you not be, keeping that burden on yourself. Oh, it's my mistake, why did I let my child do that? Or because like I said, that
Mhm.
detachment, or you can't be taking, for everything you can't be saying that it's because, oh, ये तो मेरी जिम्मेदारी है. I don't think so. मेरी जिम्मेदारी मतलब, of
Mhm.
course your child is your lifelong जिम्मेदारी, but not everywhere, every step, oh, this is
Mhm.
my fault, um, yes. So the Tridha, which is a Steiner education, there is one in Mulund, which is Bodhi
Yes.
Vidyalaya, which is also a part of Steiner, and the Simple Parenting group. I think I just follow them more closely. I don't go on to any other articles or
Mhm.
any other spaces on internet.
In UK also, your son
No,
is
he's
in the
not.
Steiner
No, because
school.
I think it's quite far off, and
Mhm.
again, it would have been a very big decision for us. So he no, he goes to a normal school.
Mhm. Got it. And before we end this conversation, what will be some do's and don'ts, like for other parents you will like to share?
I think I would just say that, stop taking, like I just said, that, oh, this is because of me, or, it meri galti hai, and let your child, fall, let your child, learn to deal with their own, her own failures. You are a support to them, definitely you
Mhm.
will, but you can't take decisions for
Mhm.
them, or you can't be blaming yourself. You parent, it's very easy, as a
Mhm.
mother, to get into that blame zone. Oh, this is because of me. Had I my son was learning to ride a bike, and he just couldn't control, and he just had a fall. So I
Mhm.
can't be saying this to
Mhm.
myself. No, it's just an example. Oh, I shouldn't have never let him uh, get on a bike. That is stupid. How will he learn
Mhm.
if he
Yeah.
he and also,
Mhm.
it's just not about the failures. When you get hurt, or that makes you strong. I don't even, not that I ignore him, but I don't make it,
Mhm.
blow it out of proportion. Like, oh my god, मेरे बच्चे को लग गया. अरे
Mhm.
लगी लगी ठीक है यार, it's okay. When we were growing up, we
Mhm.
fell 20 times. My mother never used to be at home. There was nobody to look after me. So it's fine, and I think that's exactly, as humans, we have so much of,
Mhm.
just to give an example, I was watching some of the video yesterday, and this is about the children, um, the
Mhm.
children which are currently under the war, the way the things are happening, the war zones, their parents, both of
Mhm.
their parents have died, and that young boy is about 12 years of old, and he's taking care of his five siblings. Where do you think
Mhm.
the child gets it from? He has a little baby sister. He doesn't know, because he said that only
Mhm.
my mother used to understand what she wants. So, there's another thing. As a
Mhm.
human being, when you are in that situation, and you know that you have to get out of it, even if you're a child, you get that ability, to get out of it. It's just a situation. So I would say, stop taking blames on you for everything. Stop every time advising your children. Advising, what I mean is, you can't be blamed, or you can't take control of the situations. Any mother can never see her child in pain. That's given. But you have to,
Mhm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
if you have to, no, you can't take a blame game. And I think,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
keep yourself as an individual first, and be happy, in whatever
Mhm.
ways and you can, because only then, you can be a provider or a caregiver for somebody else. If you think that my life,
Mhm.
or my role in life, is just being a mother, at least that's not for me. So I don't think there are any
Hmm.
more advices to be given to anybody.
Okay.
Every parent is, there's nothing like a good parent or a bad parent. So everybody has their own journey.
Yeah.
Everybody learns through their own journey. Everybody has their own ways of dealing with things.
Hmm.
Somebody might just hear this podcast and say, "Oh, what a woman she is! What kind of things is she saying? That let your child fall and don't even be bothered." That's me.
Hmm. Or somebody could learn
Probably.
from you how the conscious parenting looks like. That's also true. Okay. Can I ask one more
Sure.
question if you're not in hurry? It just so the Steiner comes into our discussion earlier. So just for the audience who will be listening to the podcast, if you can brief like what the Steiner is and what is Waldorf is all about in your own words or in your own
Um.
understanding.
Okay. In my own words, yes. I think. See, schooling as a structure, or the way schooling is, they try to put you in one box like normal schooling.
Hmm.
You have to learn from 1 to 10. You have to learn the times table. You have to learn the multiplications and so and so, and whatever those 30, 40 children, and they all are put under one box. Every child has a different ability. Every child has a different
Hmm.
growth process, or every child is good at something else. My child will be good at something else, somebody else's child will be good at. But I think the normal education system is such that you'll be put, and we all have gone through that. I'm not saying I am indifferent or something. We all have
Hmm.
been in that, and they put everybody in that one box, and expect everybody to perform, which is not possible, because
Hmm.
everybody has different needs. Even in a family where you have
Hmm.
siblings, the children will have different
Hmm.
needs. Forget about a school. I think what Steiner or what Waldorf is, it's it's just not about doing, sitting in that box and doing things. It's a different world. Had I got a chance, I would have, just enrolled my son with a Waldorf education. Unfortunately, that did not work out
Hmm.
due to circumstances and various other things. But what Waldorf does to you is,
Hmm.
it works with you as a you. It doesn't expect you to be, inside something. That's a very big difference, because I
Hmm.
know, when he was in Waldorf, I used to go with him to that school. It's like they believe in making your learnings through the examples, or through the live examples, or intricately weaving it together. Not like, okay, you sit in one classroom and
Hmm.
you learn two. Of course, we all have learned that way. 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8, and that's the end of your
Hmm.
school life. That's not what it is. I think it's a very beautiful education system, and
Hmm.
somebody sits there and somebody has thought about it and designed it. I think it's a brilliant way, and it connects more with me because, like I said, I always believe that you should let your child be the way they are. Or even in his early days, I let him play mitti, and I really it didn't really bother me
Hmm.
that if he was there, I was more
Hmm.
happy. Or even today, when we go back to India, when he goes and plays with his friends outdoor games, when he plays for 3.5 hours, when I see him sweating, I just love that. Because as a child, I have grown up like that. Or even we all just come back from school, throw the
Hmm.
school bag, go down, keep playing
Hmm.
until your mom or dad doesn't call you. We would never come home, and that is what even vacations were all about. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So yes, thank you for sharing about Steiner. I just want to add few points
Sure.
for the audience also. So Waldorf and Steiner is also about rhythm, repetition, and reverence, and they bring into sync your hand, heart,
Yeah.
and head. So, in short, if we want to speak about Waldorf or Steiner, it looks like that. So, yes, that's it. Thank
Thank you.
you, Darshana, for like everything, sharing your journey. I loved the way you are parenting or you made the choices. In fact, I just want to share with you also on the similar lines. I opened one preschool in Delhi also in 2019, where child was free to do anything, constantly playing, growing and developing. So you're doing really great in your parenting and your choices. I'm so feeling adored right
Thank
now
you.
for like talking
Thank you.
to you, and you're welcome. So yeah, this was Darshana. And before we go, I would ask you to share in comments where you connected most with our guest in today's podcast. And also, I request you, I urge you to be part of this growing parent community by just clicking on subscribe button below. Thank you.